Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing a review of a thriller from the United States, English language, released in the year 2014, directed by David Fincher, and this film is called Gone Girl. So Gone Girl starts off with a husband and wife. They appear to be very happily married until one day the husband gets home and he finds out that his house is being ransacked. So there appears to be a struggle and he can't find his wife anywhere. So he notifies the police, and initially she is being declared as a missing person, but then as the movie goes along there's evidence to suggest that maybe the husband has in fact killed the wife. So the media get involved, the police are getting involved, everyone is painting this husband as a killer, but there is a lot more than meets the eye, and there's up to this husband to try and clear his name before it's too late. So whether or not he can actually achieve this is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on this film. I had hesitations coming into Gone Girl for the simple fact that it was 149 minutes long. Now, why I had hesitations is that I find it very hard to concentrate for nearly 3 hours. I think that these epic movies, a lot of them run out of steam well before the end credits. And there are a few directors that can actually achieve a mega sort of film in that they create layers. So after you start getting sick of one aspect of a film, another aspect comes. So it just keeps your interest and it keeps snowballing. Directors that can do this are James Cameron and Christopher Nolan, and add to that David Fincher. So that is the reason why I wanted to go and see Gone Girl. If it was from any other director, I probably would have skipped it. But I thought David Fincher has what it takes to create really memorable films. So I was hoping that that would be the case with Gone Girl, and that is exactly what I got. I thought Gone Girl was fantastic, one of the best films of the year, for the simple fact that it was David Fincher that directed it. And this guy really knows how to direct films and how to keep your interest. As I said, when the movie starts to get a little bit boring, there's a new layer that has been put onto it. And then when you start to get used to this new layer, then another layer comes onto it. So it really feels like the director has a solid plan, and for that it doesn't run out of steam. The story doesn't feel like it's getting stale. A lot of people have said that it does get unrealistic. I think that just keeps you interested, and I think that in some point it had to get unrealistic to the point where it is slightly entertaining as opposed to something that you could deem as a possibility in reality. Now there are some things that you have to suspend, a suspension of your disbelief, because of the fact it is a movie. Ultimately it is a movie that you're supposed to enjoy. It's not a documentation of a real life case. It is a movie, and for that you have to keep the audience's interest, and I thought David Fincher did that very, very well. As I said, I didn't get bored in the film. I thought towards the end it started to drag a little bit. I thought there were numerous opportunities where the film could have finished a lot earlier and it would have been a lot better, but having said that, right at the end I left the cinema feeling to myself that yes, I saw a very good movie, and it was one that I was very happy that I spent 149 minutes watching. Now, the reason why it's so good is that David Fincher can really get the best out of his actors. You've got Ben Affleck, who plays the husband, and Rosalind Pike, who plays the wife, and I thought the chemistry between those two were very good. Thought Ben Affleck had a hint of arrogance about him, so when the Rosalind Pike's character goes missing, you don't know whether or not he is in fact a killer and he disposed of his wife, because there's evidence to suggest that he did, and there's evidence to suggest that he didn't. And you don't know whether or not you want to like this guy or hate this guy, because there are moments where different emotions come into play, and there's very rich in depth as far as character development was concerned. And for a 3-hour movie you really need your characters to be somewhat interesting. But I think the person who steals the show was Rosalind Pike as the wife. Her role, I'm not going to give too much away, but her role was just absolutely phenomenal. I think she deserves a lot of credit for what she gives, and it really does hold the movie together. There are cameo roles from Neil Patrick Harris. A lot of people criticised him as being very much out of place. I really liked his character. It was creepy, and I just thought it was a side of Neil Patrick Harris that I hadn't seen before. And then you've got another guy, Tyler Perry, was it? I'm not quite sure. I'm not really familiar with this guy. Apparently he's in a lot of comedies. He plays a lawyer, and I thought that was comedy relief. But although there is comedy relief, this character was comedy relief, it didn't feel out of place. It felt like you were getting really absorbed into this really dark story, and it was really exhausting you. And then there's a little bit of comedy relief thrown in that made the mood lighten up a little bit. So you're not going to be in full dread mode for the whole entire length. There are moments that it does lighten up the mood. You have a little bit of a laugh, but then you get back to being serious. So it's not trying to drain all the energy out of you. It is, as I said at the start of this review, it is entertaining. And that is ultimately what David Fincher wanted to produce, and it he delivers it in spades as far as I'm concerned. Now, haven't read the book, so I can't compare the two, which is a benefit for me. As I said in previous reviews, I hate it when you have to compare the movie with the book. So if you've read the book and you want to comment about what you thought of the movie, then please feel free. So this is coming from just a movie perspective. Now, it's a very dark film, typical David Fincher. Some of it reminded me of Fight Club, some of it reminded me of Zodiac. So it actually feels like David Fincher has taken some of his other films and he's squashed it in together to make Gone Girl. So fans of David Fincher will be very pleased by the dreaded and dark nature that his movies make. And there is also a little bit in it for mystery fans, and there is a little bit of brutality in it. I mean, it is a very dark film, and the movie does go down some very dark alleyways here and there, which will keep the more morbid fan very pleasantly surprised. So, acting fantastic, the soundtrack was excellent. David Fincher just captures everything perfectly. He's got the soundtrack to meet the mood, he's got the characters to meet the mood, and he's got the script to meet the mood. So everything points to a very dark murder mystery type of film that has a lot of twists. As I said, just as you're starting to get to feel that a certain aspect of the film is feeling a little bit stale, he adds another aspect and then another aspect, and that keeps you going. A lot of these filmmakers for very lengthy films, it just has one layer, and because of it's a one layer, you really notice the fact that it's taking so long. But because David Fincher adds new ingredients to the recipe, it just keeps you interested, and by the end of it, you don't want it to end. And that is a sign of a great filmmaker if he can do that after 149 minutes have passed. So I thought Gone Girl, as I said, one of the best films of the year. I really enjoyed it, and it's coming highly recommended. So overall for Gone Girl, going to give it 4.5 stars. Go out there and see it. Alright guys, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.